Warning, this review contains some foul language. If you don't like foul language, I'd advise you check out your local knitting circle and then go bake some cookies. Hello, this is your friendly neighborhood Amishman, and welcome to my fourth review of the 5 blue perks in Black Ops. The fourth perk in the blue tier is Flak Jacket, which was previously featured in World at War. In previous games, we always had a perk that emphasized explosive damage, such as Sonic Boom, Fireworks, and Danger Close. I'm not really sure who designed these perks, but I do have a message for them.
Fuck you!
Sonic Boom and Fireworks were semi-okay, but Danger Close was an abysmal perk in terms of balance. To compete with these perks, we also saw Flak Jacket in World at War and Blast Shield in Modern Warfare 2, which reduced explosive damage. Flak Jacket worked in World at War, but it had to compete with Stopping Power and Juggernaut, so it wasn't widely used. Modern Warfare 2 saw a rise in explosions like no other game in the series. Treyarch quite wisely saw that Blast Shield in Modern Warfare 2 was the equivalent of trying to block explosives with tissue paper. So, here's what's changed. This game doesn't feature an explosive magnifying perk, only Flak Jacket, which protects you from explosions. The base version of Flak Jacket reduces the damage you take from explosives by a whopping 65%. As a reviewer, I should do my best to stay neutral and just give the facts. But the fact is, I run this perk almost exclusively, unless I'm sniping or taking down kill streaks. This perk is an absolute godsend. Hallelujah. 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 Flak Jacket is simply amazing. If you use Flak Jacket, I promise you, you will never fall victim to instances like this.
Alright, random tomahawk. Whoa! Quad.
To die by explosions, you have to absorb 286 points of damage. That's a lot. Here's what you can survive in terms of explosives if you haven't taken any damage yet. Any frag grenade explosion. Any non-stick Semtex explosion. Any non-direct impact launcher explosion. This includes the undermount grenade launcher, the China Lake, the LAW launcher, and the RPG. I'm not including the Grim Reaper here. To me, that is a kill streak, so it makes it a little bit different. Moving on, any non-stick crossbow bolt explosion. Any single C4 pack explosion. Any claymore at any range. This one's especially fun. I love walking through a claymore and punishing the guy who is camping beside it. I find it fun to just imagine the look of surprise on their face. Last, you can survive some killstreak explosions. This is really hard to explain, as killstreaks often have multiple explosions, or some of the strongest explosions in the game. I will do killstreak reviews in the coming months, so all I'm going to say here is in general you will survive killstreak explosions, but don't be mad if you die to them. Here's what you can't survive. Any launched explosive which hits you directly. A Semtex which sticks to you. This is a big misconception in the community. Even if you have Flak Jacket, you are going to die when you're stuck. A crossbow bolt which sticks to you. This is another big misconception in the community. You will still die when you are stuck with one of these. The RC-XD at very close range. The RC car does 400 damage at the center of its explosion and 25 at the edge. The radius of the explosion is the same size as a frag or Semtex explosion. Most people detonate the car too soon, so with Flak Jacket in general you will survive the explosion, but if they're smart they'll get you up close. Last, some of the other killstreak explosions can also kill you. Again, I'm not going into it here. It's a lot of math, and I think we can all agree the most common explosive killstreak is the RC car, which is why I already mentioned it here. When you're using this perk, it is simply awesome. It's like you're a lumbering fire truck able to lay the beat down on all the people spamming explosives who still think it's Modern Warfare 2.
Oh God, nobody move!
What is it?
Nothing, I'll get it.
I mentioned it before, but I want to stress the point that you can walk through claymores. It negates the need for hacker, at least in my eyes. Sure, using a hacker will still be useful as you can see camera spikes, jammers, attack inserts, and motion sensors. But Flak Jacket protects you from claymores and C4. So far in my experience, claymores have been the favorite equipment, so using both hacker and Flak Jacket to me is overkill. On a random side note, it's a good idea to equip this if you play objective type game modes and actually go after the objective, since bomb sites and flag sites are grenade magnets. All in all, this perk is simply awesome. When you survive an explosion, it's like sending a handwritten letter to your opponent that says, "Screw you, my friend, use bullets."
P.S. No. Ha 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 ha.
That's also why this perk isn't overpowered. Flak Jacket only protects you from explosives. It does not protect from special grenades or bullets. This is a first-person shooter, people, not a first-person explosive thrower. One of the only problems with Flak Jacket, though, is that sometimes users will camp and you can't use explosives to pry them out of their hole. In this case, you have Nova Gas and Harden to deal with said situation. To obtain Flak Jacket Pro, you must do the following 3 challenges. Survive 10 explosions. Plant or defuse 10 bombs in demolition, sabotage, or search and destroy. Throw back 5 enemy grenades. The first challenge is really easy. Trust me, this community loves their explosives. You now get to sit back and smile though. You have a counter. I'm not a fan of the second challenge, as it forces you to play one of the bomb-based objective games. But if you play demolition, it should go quicker. The bombs tend to get planted and defused several times a round, so this shouldn't be hard. My advised technique would be to throw a smoke, do a dolphin dive to get close to it, and defuse or plant that sucker. With clouded vision, that normally means people will throw explosives at you, which you are thankfully wearing a counter to. Throwing back 5 enemy grenades is quite frankly the most frustrating challenge I've encountered. To the devs who agreed this would be a good challenge, I want to say I hate you all, but that just feels too easy, too simple.
Don't say hate, Gandhi. You kids throw that word around so much it's lost to all of its meaning. Now I have to find a word stronger than hate to describe how I feel about others. I mega loathe you all. Good day.
Too much has to come together for this to happen once, let alone 5 times. First, your enemy actually has to use frags. If you ask me, Semtex is far more popular. Second, they have to throw the frag uncooked, or at least uncooked enough for you to pick it up. Third, it actually has to land and roll around you. And fourth, you have to fight the instinct to run from it. Thankfully, you just have to successfully pick it up. It does not have to leave your hands. Try playing objective-based game modes like Domination or Sabotage, where people will be spamming frags at objective points. If that doesn't work, camp and throw some decoys around your feet. That should attract explosives. If that doesn't work, you can just boost for it if you're lucky enough to find someone to help you. But be warned, Treyarch has been going after boosters. I doubt they'd go after you for doing this, but still, I'm mentioning it. If it's any consolation, Flak Jacket Pro really isn't all that big a deal, so I actually don't even normally bother to try to unlock it. Flak Jacket Pro is a mix of abilities. One is Throwback, returning from World at War. When you throw an enemy frag back, if it had a fuse time of less than 2 seconds, you reset it to 2.5 seconds. You also gain immunity to fire. Fire-based weapons in this game include napalm and flamethrowers. Fire damage is cut down to 5% of whatever amount of damage it would have done before, meaning you can dance in the fire as it tickles your feet.
But don't play with me, 'cause you're playing with fire.
Just be warned, the napalm strike does drop actual explosives, and if you're unfortunate enough to be directly in said explosion, you will still most likely die. Be afraid of the explosions, but not the fire. Overall, compared to the base version, Flak Jacket Pro is more of a parlor trick than a separate perk. Frags aren't used all that often, most people use Semtex. Fire immunity is good, but that requires your enemy is using the flamethrower and or the napalm strike. It's not that Flak Jacket Pro is useless, but rather probably won't help you near as much as the base version of the perk.